now returning you to the Children of Primus.
I was like, oh, are we doing it again?
We're doing it again. It just seemed to have just frozen. So something's happening somewhere.
We just had to turn it off and on again, and then it worked fine.
That's it.
Okay. Up to video
I'm
quality.
I'm actually just realizing, Spin, your image is frozen, but I can hear you, so that's fine.
That is funny. Something's happening.
Yeah.
And Grumpy looks like he's
Everything's on
about ready
fire.
to jump out to get away from Sunstorm. He's like, get me away from the sky.
It's TelaTraan 2-time, baby.
Welcome back again, once again, Mario, and welcome to TelaTraan 2, where I think some
You're just a
members
green screen.
just a green screen. Some
We're having
members
the
are
swearing
missing.
Care Bears and Sunstorm crossover.
I think it's been a while since we've had one of these streams. Actually, we had one some months ago where then we had to jump on Discord because there were just fires everywhere. Everything was blowing up.
Everything's on fire.
We're all going to die. We're all going to die. We ate too much Taco Bell tomorrow in the future of Cinco de Mayo.
Are we here?
I think we're here. Something's happening.
There we go. Something is happening. Many somethings. Where's Mr. Magnus?
I'm not
it's
sure,
the
but
Destroyer's
I
fault.
figured out what's happening. I am the Destroyer. We've done it. We've destroyed his screen.
Whoa, it got bright on my actual phone suddenly.
What did we ever do to the Destroyer?
I think one day we'll have the Children of Primus versus the Destroyer.
Mm-hmm.
And what is going on? Talking a lot of Destroyer. Sudden, what is going on top of your head there?
Grumpy Care Bear and Blokey Sunstorm. Grumpy Care Bear is about ready to jump out of my scarf that I made out of my sewing class out of repurposed ties, 4 of them, because otherwise he's gonna have to kill a fool. Grumpy's like, I got thunder power. He's like, I'll electrocute you before you can Nova Stormy, Sunstormy, whatever.
All right, now that we know that Seta missed his medication for this evening, we can move on.
This is me after having to deal with my niece and nephew Friday and Saturday. This is what children will do to you.
I am the Destroyer.
Anthony, stick to cats.
I am the Destroyer.
Have no kids. Even avoid nieces and nephews as well if you can. Stick to
I like my nieces and nephews
and children.
Half of the free
taking
comics
this
we got
off,
at Free
'cause
Comic
it's
Book
hot.
Day went to them.
Nice.
Oh, God.
Hello there, I am the Destroyer. Unspeakable, I am the Destroyer. Your mom, I am the Destroyer. Soundbot 29, the Quantum Bot, I am the Destroyer.
We need TP for our Bibles.
Special Agent Plunger Man, I am the Destroyer.
We've never determined what the heck is going on with these things, right?
They're Destroyers.
Oh, my neck.
Yeah. Maybe I'll take a second to.
It is weird how we haven't figured out a lot of what's going on around here. We have no idea who the Destroyers are, although we're grateful that they tune in. But we have no idea who sent Magnus that box of blokies.
Mm-hmm.
I was just thinking about that. Maybe it was the Destroyer.
Yeah, there you go.
Every now and then, Soundwave just comes in and does whatever he wants to our streams. Speaking of which, there is Mr. Magnus.
Yeah. So we were just saying, you never did find out who sent you the box of blokies, eh?
No, did not.
Did either of you two get Nova Storm?
Sunstorm? No.
Yes.
Well, let me see who's in this one real quick, and then I can build it as we talk. This is from the same series as before, so there's no Sunstorms in here.
As the blokey? No.
Okay, so I got one that the other two you guys didn't have. That's good. I was kind of hoping that would work out that way.
So
That Mario.
Yep, me hearing Set and Box Art singing a murderous version of Feliz Navidad, even though it's not December.
Well, there's not really Cinco de Mayo songs, at least not that I know of.
Did those links come through from the other one, Ben? Or do I need to send them again?
You'd have to send them again.
I got somebody blue. Oh, you know what? I think I got Ultra Magnus, just based on the colors. Because
Finished
who else?
working for 2 hours. I am the destroyer. Mudflap.
Oh, you know what? I either got Ultra Magnus or Smokescreen because I got somebody that's blue and white, and those are who were both in here.
Or Mirage.
Oh, nope. Look at that face. That's an Ultra Magnus face. Albeit without all of his stuff, but
he can't deal with that right now.
Yeah. So I guess I'll put this guy together over here as we discuss things. Let me.
By the way, for all of our Star Wars fans out there, happy May the 4th be with you.
May the 4th be with you.
And also with you.
As Mario's asking, how many times am I going to see people putting "I am the destroyer" in the comments?
A lot.
I don't know. It happens a lot.
The more the merrier.
That's a challenge.
Like this. This is not a bit. I genuinely don't know. We genuinely don't know who that is or why they do that.
No, and I would challenge if the destroyer can keep destroying our stream all the way till the end of the stream, like throughout the entire stream, just keep destroying, and also share it to others.
Our version of a Twitch hype train on Twitch.
That's it, and also to share to others so we hit the 500 mark because we're almost there.
Almost there.
We're almost there.
Oh, Toy War. You remember how I told you I got a duplicate Purple Passion? I gave it to my niece, since that's her favorite color, and I gave my nephew the loose duplicate Hot Wheels I had. So.
Man, that was really big news in the Hot Wheels community that they were going to do a 51 Merc lead sled, and it came out. I think I got the first run of it. And I was so disappointed a couple of years ago. I come across them again in my collection. I was like, you know what? That's a little past, my time of collecting. Let me just see what they're going for. First run of this big deal Hot Wheels made, and it's $10.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, I was highly disappointed.
Yeah, the most I see is like stuff like Forza, the Salt Flats, the Fast and the Furious ones, where instead of being like the $1 to $2 or something like $4 to $6.
Mm-hmm.
But I hadn't seen. If I see something like that's 10 or up, it's something that's like bigger, like like the Magnus or the Prime, or the ones that are bigger than 1/64 scale.
Oh yeah, but you're talking about ones at retail. I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I'm talking about the value of the old one. Yeah.
Apparently, a swindle.
I still need to get a Twin Mill 2, and I think the first Train Hot Wheels they did, because I got the more recent 2. They came up with designs for.
Swindle says, "I am Swindle, and I swindled my way in here again, and also I am the destroyer." Which Soundbot replies, $10 for Hot Wheels, damn. And I think $10 is cheap considering what Magnus and Optimus has been going for the last while.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy that these just come out and they're worth more than the original first run Purple Passion. That's a little crazy.
Wow.
Come on, buddy. It's okay, Shinta. Come on.
Never underestimate the appeal of a good crossover. Oh, interesting little thing. Oh, yeah. Hey, MPG Optimus. That is a new thing that they announced. So this is a 4th Masterpiece Optimus. Remember, they've done 3 versions in the past. This is take number 4. And this is like the opposite of what they previously did. Because the last one was trying to be as animation accurate as possible and had like 10,000 little tiny panels to look as much like the Sunbow cartoon model as it possibly could. This one is aiming to be simpler, more sort of toyetic, sort of more like MP10 was. Comes with a bunch of extra stuff, like, the Bavers type swords on top of his usual accessories.
Mhm.
Basically, this is supposed to be a less complicated masterpiece. He even comes with weapons that look kind of like his siege toy.
Toyetic.
Yeah,
I
it's
like
kind
that
of
word.
like hits a lot of sweet spots from different Optimus designs and kind of emblem them together.
Yeah, and it's interesting because, like, when they made the previous Optimus, that was like the previous masterpiece Optimus was like, this is the ultimate, looks like the cartoon one. So now that we've done that, what else can we do? And the answer is to step back from that and do something a little less accurate and a little more fun. That seems to be what they're trying to do. Yeah, something that people have pointed out is that the cannon on his shoulder like that, along with his extra long antenna. There is an early piece of Diaclone concept art for Battle Convoy, which, turned into Optimus Prime later, where he has the cannon on his shoulder and his antenna are extra long. So they're homaging something very ancient with that. Yeah. This
Jesus
is for...
Christ, Toy Warp, can I get that freaking Optimus Prime back?
That was random.
Did you see what they're going for on eBay?
No,
He's like, it's my precious.
$121.
Christ.
You know what?
Mine's now.
For that, you can have it back. Holy crap.
No, I'm kidding. Holy smokes.
Okay,
hey,
hold on. They're listed for $100 some odd, but are they selling for that much?
hang on, that's what I'm looking at.
Yeah, you
That's
can
what
list
I'm
it for
looking
whatever
at.
you want.
Oh, which
That
actually
is what
reminds me. I wonder if I saved a picture of this one eBay listing that was quite funny. Hopefully I did save it.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, by the way, what we're looking at right here is studio as the Studio Cell people. They made their Primus, and now they're doing a repaint of it in Golden Age of Cybertron colors, calling it Golden Seed.
Golden.
Yeah.
What's the... I guess that makes sense for it being the Golden Ages.
Yeah, it's just, I guess they were like, well, we always need to repaint these things to recoup some of the cost. What the heck can we turn Primus into? And Golden Age Cybertron was the answer they came up with, I guess. Which, makes sense, I think. Yeah, Jackie Daytonis is a Twitter account that has a lot of third-party news.
Cool. And Mario says, I see the MPG Optimus Prime being compared to the old Studio Ox design. Japanese manga style they did for G1 when they advertised it over there, and that's exactly the version I was thinking of when you mentioned the antennas.
Yeah, the really long antennas, which are like based on that sort of.
Which I'm surprised how far back that artwork goes for the Studio Ox, because I think I was like grade 6 or 7 when I saw a few other kids sharing that.
Really?
Yeah, so that was like the black and white stencil version. So that would have been 80, like around 87-ish or 80, yeah, 86, 87, 88. So whenever that just came out, the kids that were into anime back then that had access to it, they were already sharing that image.
Oh, wow. Interesting to think that they had like the ability to share that stuff back in the day, like pre-modern internet.
Yeah, I mean, us sharing is basically someone had the image, you put it up on a window and trace it and stencil it and copy it to someone else. So that was our social media back then.
Well, now I'm just really curious about how they got it in the first place. Then.
YFF says, Motormaster, get your Big King Road act down here and talk about some crazy things Megatron and Shockwave told you.
There's just a whole little drama playing out in the comments.
I love when the comments just become their own show.
Yeah, like they don't even need us. We could just narrate. We could just comment on it. Yeah. Oh yeah, Wild King, the Takara line. Yes. That is coming out, and they're doing this while we're doing Cyber World. The first in-hand images are coming out because it's been released. People are saying these are really fun. Like, they're kind of blocky and simple looking, but once you get them in hand, they're basically combiners without much fuss behind them. because you got the big Optimus and the big Megatron, and then you have a bunch of other little dinosaur type guys who make all the arms and legs. Yeah, they have that short YouTube cartoon that I talked about previously.
Right.
But yeah, the real meat and potatoes here is that they're finally being released, so the internet is just starting to see like in-hand images of what they're all actually like in person. Yeah, it's a combined Optimus.
4th episode.
The most expensive one that's sold so far has been $50.
Okay, that makes
there you
go. Sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, they are sure being listed.
Hot Wheels collectors are a little crazy.
Yeah, I have noticed that. I've joined a Hot Wheels group on Facebook, and I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah.
These people are nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's all I like.
They make
I don't even know the
fans
specifics.
Casual.
I just know by reputation that Hot Wheels collectors have been thought of as being certifiably insane.
Well, speaking of
so
insane.
So this is interesting. What we're looking at is a company. I forget the name of the company. It'd probably say at the top there, is doing a KO of a knockoff of Studio Series 86 Optimus Prime, and is throwing in all these extra accessories inspired by the Masterpiece guys, like the alternate Starscream head and wings, so that image is the full figure. So that's Commander Optimus there, and then sprawled out in front of him is all the extra stuff this knockoff comes with. A bunch of alternate heads, alternate guts. He has the Skybound Megatron arm there too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and alternate cell-shaded windows. Pretty much this is one of those insane bootlegs where they decided we're going to try to make it better and throw in everything.
It's working.
Yeah. I just find myself curious as to what it's going to cost. Like, if it's cheaper than the Commander, then people will want to go after this, especially if the build quality is decent. But also, it's a bootleg, so who knows? Maybe it's worse.
That is a really interesting detail on the back of him.
Yeah, I don't know what I'm looking at there.
It's like a truck, like a radiator fan on the back of the truck.
Last I checked, radiator fans weren't white.
True, although it looks just like one. Almost like a refrigerator unit that you'd see on a trailer, and not usually on the truck. But it's an interesting detail, though.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to zoom in and look at it. It kind of looks like a piece of, something that would transform on him.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's it.
Right
There's
there.
The full
it's right there.
Accessories.
In that picture, scroll back up, Ben. It's right there underneath of. It's just to the left of the heads. Come down.
So
right there. Come down. Right there it is.
Oh, so that's something. That's another accessory. So that's there on purpose. So I wonder what that's supposed to be, especially if I don't recognize it.
Yeah, I can't. It's too small. I can't really zoom in very well.
Maybe it's a floppy disk from the original G1 comics.
Oh, maybe that would be interesting.
One that Chip Chase didn't rip in half.
Yep.
Yeah, the one that manages to somehow hold all of Optimus's personality on it. And then years later, they used it to bring him back as the Power Master, and they're like, it still works. It's still in here somehow. An entire Transformer fit on this floppy disk.
All 1.44 data.
Yeah. Bob Budiansky was always quite fond of doing silly things like that. This is the man that gave us wrestling matches and Skullgrin becoming a celebrity and
what site is that on?
Of Doom.
Span?
TFW.
Actually, catch up on the comics for a quick moment, which said I'm hiding in the comments where he says he's not tired. It should do 2 minutes easier this weekend. I know we're not going to do that tonight because we didn't have time to set it up. Cause even on my end, I've just been
figure out the timer situation correctly.
Yeah, chaos between moving and a few.
Well,
other
it still
things.
would be news related if you. So if you just wanted to bring it up as a topic of conversation.
Set him as the destroyer of Floriform I am carving with. And Motormaster said, okay, fine. Of the things Megatron made for a punching bag, he killed Starscream, and now I'm his freaking punching bag. Starscream, get your ghost, but down here, get a new body.
Jeez.
Mario
What is
says,
going on?
I still need to find a way to get Studio Series 86 Optimus Prime if he's available on any online sites.
He is up for pre-order at Big Bad Toy Store right now, Mario.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. And
So
RJ
go
Eagle
there.
says, Hot Wheels fans are definitely hardcore. They're always at Walmart or Target, bright and early, trying to get first crack at opening up new boxes.
Oh, hey, RJ.
That's what I always hear. Like, if there's chase cars, they'll just go through the whole thing right there to try and find them.
Mm-hmm.
God, that's
I'm
when
just like-
that's when I stopped. It's when they started all those chase.
Mm.
Oh, what a mess!
Yeah, I saw at the Target, not the Target, the Kroger's I was at, they have 2 copies of the 2 chases that Kroger's has exclusively, and you have those like duct taped to death on the sign for how much they cost, so people know what 2 cars are the chase ones.
I'm over here just like now that there's Transformers that are Hot Wheels. I will occasionally take a quick glance at the Hot Wheels section when I walk by it in a store, thinking maybe I'll see one up top, even though I know that's never going to happen because these guys have already gotten them all. Yeah. Oh, so this is that new mobile game. I forget what it's called now. I am bad with names, and I'm the guy that sent most of these in, so that's funny. So it's enclosed. Yeah, it Transformers Eternal War. Yeah, that's it. So it's in closed beta in Australia and New Zealand now. So it'll be mass release later on. I'm not a big mobile game guy, mostly because a lot of them just predatory money spending thing. Though the 2 Pokemon ones that I play are both really good about that. So this could be terrible. It could be great. It's got interesting visuals. The main thing is there's some video of people that are in the closed beta, and this thing goes hard on the Sunbow look and feel. It uses music from the animated series, like straight up for all the parts of it. All the voice clips. I don't think that it's the original voice clips, but they're all saying lines from the G1 cartoon. So once you see this in motion, I was like, oh, this sounds like really fun to play just because of the audio. Like, you'll just be in the Autobot base, and they'll just be playing like Sunbow Autobot base music, like straight up, like from the album,
I find it interesting that this game's coming out when just last week there was the takedown of the other fan-made Transformers that a fan made on Roblox.
Yeah. Well, hey, what was I saying? Sometimes they take these down because they got official things in the works that they don't want the official things to compete with the bootlegs.
Mm-hmm. Which on the Discord server, which you can also find us on discord.childrenofprimus.com, there's a separate Discord server with the designers of that game that was taken down, and they're actually working on bringing it back up.
Oh, interesting.
I am also not a fan of mobile games. I'd so much prefer to play on a console. And it kind of disappoints me that, the new Hasbro head exec is, we're going to be more about gaming, but, it's just bullcrap microtransaction mobile gaming. Not saying that there's not microtransactions on console, but there's a heck of a lot less of it on console than there is mobile gaming.
Yeah.
And I feel like a point that new CEO forgets is that as a toy company, Hasbro is a big fish, while as in gaming, you're like a small fish of a small fish.
Yeah.
In a very big pond already.
Unless he still has his connections at Microsoft, because Microsoft is all Xbox.
That's true.
Yeah, I will say this: if this comes out, I'll give it a whirl, and if it manages to not be too predatory, I might be able to get into it. Like I said, the 2 mobile games that I actually do play, Pokemon Go, yes, I'm still playing that, and the Pokemon trading card game. I like them because they're not predatory. I've spent $0 in these things and had plenty of stuff to do. So here's hoping that one is more like those and less like other games.
Quickly catch up on the comments. RG Eagle was asking which Prime were we looking at? Is that the new one from TF Safari? I
don't think so. I don't remember what it's called. I think it's by... I could probably find it really quickly. Just give me a second.
And Adam Chandler's asking if anybody's heard updates on Peter Cullen. And I know
Nope.
the internet has moments where it's almost quote unquote where you like almost celebrity, celebrity take someone down, and at least every year or two, there's always a bunch of threads saying Peter Cullen's not coming back, he's not feeling well, and or if there's like one cancellation and everyone's running that, it's like, oh no, this is the end of Peter Cullen, but we don't know that until an official word comes out. So it's basically just internet chatter at the moment. So Adam is also asking if anyone up here in Canada has seen the new Vortex.
I saw the wave that it's supposed to be in because I went to a store and found the other guys in that wave, Alchemist Prime and Crasher. So somebody had already scooped the Vortex, which makes sense. So that wave's out here really early. Just presumably people came after that Vortex first of all because they want all the Combaticons. And to answer the question about the Optimus, he's called MD005. That's the name of. That's all I got for his name, MD005.
Yeah, but what's the company?
I don't know. let me look that up.
And Mario was saying, I don't plan on going to Big Bad Toy Store to get Studio Series 86 because apparently they're being affected by tariffs, and I don't want to pay more than what was originally priced. And good thing you mentioned that, because we were going to speak a bit about that, and there's a slight unassociated update on the Canada side, where Canada Post is kind of going back in negotiations in terms of another strike, possibly. So now we're dealing with those same issues we did months ago, where anyone on this side of the border ordering something is either not able to get it or has to find alternative couriers to get it. But then now everyone on the other side of the border is dealing with all these tariffs in terms of Transformers or anything coming from China or Japan.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, I did find a listing for that Optimus on Show's eStore. Officially, the company is KO/no brand, meaning they're not saying what company it is, presumably for their own safety.
They can't.
Mm-hmm.
So, yes, talking about the tariffs, at the bottom of every order form now at Big Bad Toy Store, it says listed price excludes tariff surcharge. Due to rapidly changing tariff rates, we currently cannot determine the final tariff surcharge for this item. The price listed above is the normal BBTS price, excluding any tariffs. When we know the final tariff rate for this product, we will update you before we process your payment method for this item. You will be able to cancel your pre-order at that time. Our customer service team, as always, will be ready to help with any issues that arise from the situation, and we will be very flexible given the circumstances. So, Mario, yes, tariffs are going to be a thing. We've got that for 4 years unless somebody puts a bullet in somebody. So,
I don't want to be deported, okay?
Children of Primus does not endorse taking oranges off of palm trees with bullets.
I gotta step back from my desk here.
It's all how it's worded.
But Big Bad Toy Store is your best bet for getting one tariff free, unless you can find one for a decent price, secondary market. Somebody's just got one for sale, trade shows, whatever. But keep in mind that these people also know that you ain't got no other choice.
Mm-hmm.
You're either going to pay the tariff or they're going to jack their prices up.
Well, I mean,
those of us in the community, we call that the late tax.
Yep.
You didn't get in on it the first time around. Now you pay a late tax. It's not considered scalping if you can't get one.
And this is true. Well, although
I still have probably 10 or 15. Let me go to my thing. I got 10 or 15 things on pre-order from Big Bad. My accounts.
Because there's one of the toy
I have
stores.
14 items. I have 14 items in pre-order right now.
Nice.
Oh, wait a minute. That's because my cart, I haven't changed my cart yet. There it is. Because I am getting that Masterpiece G-Style. I'm going to go ahead and put that in right now. And I'm also picking up the, they re-released the Movie Studio 86 Steel Jaw.
Oh,
I was
nice.
not able to get one of those, so I'm grabbing one of those now too. Check out.
So RJ says thanks to Anthony for the info. Also says I don't think tariffs affect existing pre-orders. There is, at some point I saw some chatter somewhere that there's one of the known toy stores. I don't recall if it was Big Bag Toy Store, but there's one of them. Essentially, it's like they're almost eating the cost of the tariffs, where they're
Yeah.
basically saying, whatever the price is, we're keeping it at that price. We're not playing all these silly games, and that's what we're gonna sell it to our
Yeah.
customers
I think
for.
it was Big Bad Toy Store. Like their initial email said, like anything that was ordered before a certain point, we're just going to honor that. It might have been them. It might have been ages 3 and up, something like that.
Something like that.
Yeah, and really, like I got a lot. Big Bad Toy Store is like an independent company, so I feel a lot of sympathy for them. They're obviously trying to be as transparent and helpful as possible. So good on them. The May 9th thing that was mentioned earlier in the stream is because Hasbro Pulse has a thing now saying get your pre-orders in before May 9th because the current pre-order period is going to close. So everybody's like, oh, so that's probably when they're going to start upping their prices based on tariffs.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mario, I'm from the DMV, DC, Maryland, Virginia, and I know white ops, gray ops, and black ops. Gray ops being people who would like test the travel routes and the accommodations for VIPs, whether they're from DC or outside of our country, from overseas for a possible assassin hiding spot. So there's lots of stories I've heard that makes
By the
me
way,
indifferent to jokes or
here's
otherwise.
here's Blokey Magnus. I got him done. He's very nice.
Hold on.
He has the same kind of build as Tarn that I built last week, and that they made him bigger on purpose, and his shoulders are built a bit differently to accommodate that. So he's a bit larger than your normal Blokey.
Cool.
Is that a shiny one?
No,
Oh,
no,
the
no
next
tapping
size up.
low.
Well, that's fitting for
Yeah.
Magnus.
Yeah, I agree with it. Yeah, I think the Defenders. Yeah, there's a white inside Optimus Prime in this set.
Yeah, and Loki's did a white Optimus Magnus early on initially, and then this is a later release, this new version. And yeah, I know they have a Diaclone Colors Shattered Glass one too. Would love to pick that up at some point.
Yeah, I think I saw they have the bigger Rise of the Beasts RC, both the bot mode and gorilla mode primal. And I mean, nothing against the toy, but you know how the back legs of the 8 mode for the Studio Series are kind of janky. So I wouldn't mind getting that Loki, that more, a step or two above the Shining grade. Because it's I have video of the box and picture of the standing box that they have on the different shelves of the different size classes. So, because it does the whole glowing light things on those bigger size classes too.
Said, I seen you asking Anthony in the chat that something about how did you get the eyes to glow up? Does yours have the glow up optic sensors?
You mean
Sunstorm?
in the DM chat? Oh, what it was? So I was joking about when I was putting it together, because you know how, God, it's in just from me grabbing the box just now, it turned on, and I was just joking about how easy it takes to bump it. And of course, when I was putting together the whole time, it was just making me OCD because I was like, the light, it's off. It's on, no. When I was try to, plug in the pieces finally, and, you pop in the different joints for the final connection, and it just, it popped on again.
Yeah. I don't have any.
I didn't see yours light up. That's why I was asking.
Oh yeah, they made it so his eyes and his
my
cockpit
light turned
up.
off so I can show him on screen in the dark.
Reporting live from the darkness? Question mark.
I am the darkness. I am the night. I am Mentally constipated Batman.
There you go.
So, and it makes such a difference with the eyes. Like, I imagine if light piping actually worked out. And then with Nova Storm being how in a lot of the comics she's like glowing and stuff. The fact that I got him like first, my first shiny one is just made that more because I was at the shop that I got him from late middle of last week earlier today. So
Now, coincidence is Fear also sent me this news item of Bob Budiansky as he gave all of our G1 characters a life essentially with personalities, which Motormaster replying in true Motormaster form saying, "Can that orange fix this war before I fix it myself? Because I have a few guys who would love to make a giant monster and destroy some things." But Motormaster, I have to throw this to you because even though you guys can combine in and become a monster and fix some things, 4 of your friends are not really your friends. So just remember that.
maybe the combative.
I think we've lost him there for a moment.
Maybe the Combaticons will. I gotta reset. Damn it.
While Sedum's resetting, Fear, this item that you sent me with Mr. Bob Budiansky, what is this one?
Well, it technically is doing promo for the Kickstarter of all the Marvel stuff, but he was in an AMA on Reddit, which means like people post questions, he answers them for about an hour. People talk to him about a bunch of things that not just Transformers, but also like Sleepwalker, which a character he created, his work on Ghost Rider, not Ghost
Marvel
Rider,
comic character.
Yeah,
I didn't realize that he'd worked on Ghost Rider. Huh?
Yeah,
what time frame he worked on it?
Oh gosh, I don't know offhand, but it came up in some of these questions here.
To look that up.
Yeah, I had some that I thought were funny because, like, I mean, you guys were at a bunch of you were at his panel at TFCon. Like, he's a very chilled out guy, but he also doesn't really follow Transformers anymore. So some of these questions are like, they get funny answers. One question was just, "What are your general thoughts on Beachcomber? He's my personal favorite." And his reply was, "My thoughts, ... I guess he never made a lasting impression on me."
Oof.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Yeah. Somebody was like, oh gosh, where is it here? I'm scrolling through it on my phone trying to find the ones I was looking at earlier that I thought were interesting. Oh yeah, did you have any plans for Transformers past those first 4 issues? And he was like, no, we had no plans. He really was just making it up as he went along. Somebody was like, which comic story do you consider the peak of Transformers fiction? So he just goes, well, considering my story, that's all he's familiar with. He mentions, the return to Cybertron with Blaster and Straxus, those 2 issues. He always says those are his favorites that he wrote.
I know when.
He's like,
oh no, go ahead.
Yeah, he's like, what was the most absurd idea you ever had or in your team? And he's like, there's one that I forgot about. Somebody came up to me at a convention wearing a t-shirt with the head of Fortress Maximus, but it said Fruit Loop Multipuck instead. And I asked the fan who came up with that silly name, and he told me that you did, because there was an issue where Grimlock was fighting Fort Max, and he kept calling him names that weren't his.
That's funny.
That's great.
Mm-hmm. Which I know one stream we're going to have to get back to reading the tech specs, because really the personality bios, especially when you dig into them, are pretty wild in terms of, certain characters that, they either have certain fears or just really interesting personalities. And I'm like, this character is a little bit crazed in a sense, but, he really had fun with writing out the bios for each and every one of them.
Yeah, somebody asked him here, like, you know, there's characters like Punch Counter Punch or Thundercracker that you wrote bios for but didn't really feature in your stories. First of all, the first part of his reply was funny because it's like, it's hard enough for me to remember the things I did do. It's even harder for me to remember the things I didn't do. And he's just like, there were just so many characters, I needed to introduce so many new ones, so that sometimes there just wasn't space. Yeah, his favorite character to write was Sleepwalker, the Marvel character, because he created him. Favorite Transformer was Blaster, which checks out because if you read Marvel, Blaster was kind of the main character for quite a while. Like, not just with that Return to Cybertron thing. He was pretty much just the protagonist in the middle years. Yeah,
which is ironic.
Which is ironic. Why?
Which is ironic because, you know, he's praised for having Blaster as, you know, like his creation and being the main character for a while. Meanwhile, when Transformers went to another version of the comics, whoever it was made up Drift, and he just kind of forced Drift into the story, and like nobody liked that.
And they didn't, because it wasn't a character he was handed. It was a character the guy made up specifically to be his fun new person. Shane McCarthy, the author that created Drift, he said this issue in which Drift is going to be introduced is going to be as important as the issue of Incredible Hulk when they introduced Wolverine. He said that, and everybody was just like, come on, man, come on. That pretty much immediately poisoned the well, because everybody's like, oh, you're one
Dragon
of
Ball
those.
Z Abridged Vegeta.
I am the hype. Close.
Yeah. To be fair, like, I just got finished reading Lost Light for my book club, and, like, eventually Drift became a fun character. It was after other authors started writing him, like, after James Roberts started writing him instead. Yeah.
Ouch.
Like, James Roberts wrote him as this, like, funky spiritualist that says all this Zen stuff, but everybody's like, what the hell are you talking about, you weirdo? It's a good take on the character.
Yeah, I remember reading IDW Transformers from Heart to Darkness through Dark Cybertron.
Oh, Hearts
That
of
was
Darkness
my
was
main
awful.
knowledge of it. So I guess I totally missed that first creator-writer version of Drift, and I just got the fun versions.
Yeah.
Wasn't Hearts? Oh, it was Hearts of Steel. That was when they.
No. There's Hearts of Darkness, and then there's Hearts of Steel.
That's what I was saying.
Hearts of Darkness was a mini-series that focused heavily on Galvatron, Cyclonus,
Scourge,
and you had RC and Hardhead like constantly chasing them, because in the IDW originally, let's just say I'll believe it that RC and Galvatron are siblings. I won't go in more detail to that because it's awkward. And then it was very trippy. Like, there's scenes like where I remember, they had like a Titan, like Scorponok size headmaster. Where it's like, the headmasters that are the size of ships, and you would see them blasting around. So you see a random disembodied head just flying in space, and you see Galvatron, the Cyclonus and Sweeps being like, yeah, let's shoot them.
So catch up on the comments. Mario saying, Mr. Magnus sounds like people wanting to pull the trigger when they have the opportunity to purchase something, however, don't want to risk it and not worth taking the bullet.
Well, there is no bullet. There is no bullet to take. They just, the thing I just read, if it comes out whenever it's released, you're going to get an email. And if the tariff price on it is too much, you can cancel your order.
Cool. Which
there is no risk.
No, RJ also says the problem is I feel that once tariffs go away, companies will be reluctant or very slow to return the price back to normal. So this may become the new normal, which people have mentioned.
Yeah. Oh, by the way,
that is their bottom line. That is the plan, to make everything as expensive as possible and go, well, you paid for it back then, you'll pay for it now.
Oh, by the way, as I can see the comments in the corner there, RJ Eagle, I love Ultimate Spider-Man. It's one of my favorite comics. I'm not caught up on Transformers. I am caught up on Ultimate Spider-Man. That's how much I like it. I guess Motormaster's still yelling.
Yeah, I might have edged him on to do so, as you saw from that last comment of mine.
Yeah, why not? It's good for engagement.
And Mario was tying in with what we have on the screen, or is it other news of people having quality control issues with the Omega Prime HasLab, and
yeah, there's ups and downs to this. Every HasLab's always had some. You get some samples that are bum samples, and they're generally pretty good about replacing them. I heard like people got Unicrons with two left wings, and they sent them a new right wing, like nice and quick and stuff. The big problem with this is they're telling people they have to wait until July before they can start sending people replacements. But the good news is it looks like it's a fixable problem. Basically, what it is that's Optimus Prime's stomach, and there's some connection on the inside that's like doesn't fit together very well. So if you use the ratchet joint there, because he has an ab crunch, it can make his chest, like the plastic on it, crack. Like that's what you're seeing there.
Wow.
So you have to pop them open and like make sure that those teeth that are circled there are in good shape and not bent like they are there, and either sand it down or put some shock oil in, or just make sure it's lined up nice.
And how much was this character going for?
To ask.
Yeah, a lot.
Yeah. So
couple hundred.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And US dollars.
Price to have QC issues, like that's crazy.
Yeah, somebody there had a picture of an Ultra Magnus that with the plastic that was very yellowed. That's what one of those photos was. But that seems to be a one-off thing. Once again, there's always going to be a small sample of them that have something wrong. Presumably,
plus, that can be very climate specific too.
Yeah,
because I know Slag Podcast was talking about it's different getting something in Canada where it's cool and it's not as versus, let's say, I don't know, Florida, or Texas, or somewhere in Central South America.
But yeah, so basically people are popping them open with a few screws and making a fix and making sure their stuff inside's okay. I know a few people on Discord that have gotten their copies who were like, yeah, I popped it open to have a look. There was nothing wrong with mine. So it's not a guaranteed thing. It's kind of crappy because, expensive toy QC issues, but at least it's fixable.
And as Motormaster said, Devastator, Bruticus, Leo Kaiser, Abominus, and Piranacon, and the Insecticons are all under my finger, and they will destroy the Tiny Man and win, and we will all become the new president.
Sure, why not?
Yeah, I mean, that's we should be a bit worried whether now if we had a choice of a president or of a figure running a country, would we pick Motormaster or Minosaur?
The
Swindle.
The combined.
Oh wait, no, we already got that. Never mind.
That already happened.
Yeah, maybe Swindle's just a pretender shell. I mean,
no.
Who? I mean, is the inner robot of a certain pretender shell that's discolored from that looks like too much bronzer.
That yellow wing will get you. Yeah. Anyway, maybe it's just that I didn't go in on Omega Prime, so I look at these QC problems and I'm just like, oof, dodged a bullet. I say like I was going to get it because that makes me feel better.
Hopefully that is it what's the shark that they're getting that from the RID 01 that's coming out in Age of the Primes?
Skybite.
What's his name?
Skybite. It's Skybite.
Skybite. So hopefully they don't have problems with him, just so the RID 01 fans can feel like, man, here we are. We gotta pay for a HasLab for two major characters, and not everybody can deal with HasLab. And then if you did do the HasLab, so at least because I mean that's You said Cyber Shark. Whatever his name is, the shark, the haiku shark.
Skybite.
Skybite. Damn it, I can't remember. I only seen like an episode, the first 2 or 3 episodes of RD01, so
You should
I'm not
watch the whole
super
thing.
familiar.
It's pretty
That's one of
fun.
my gaps.
The whole thing's up on YouTube, like.
Oh, I know.
illegally,
That's how
but
I've been
for-
I was watching
yeah.
it.
But for free because they don't have the rights to it anymore. So it's like, well, might as well stream it that way. And they're making a version of Skybite in that Cyberworld line, the
Yeah.
cheap line, where he's a shark with wheels that drives like a car, and I'm like,
Yeah, he's
Okay.
basically like a shark riser from Hot Wheels.
yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
the
like,
shark
I think-
attack.
I think that's the version I'll get just on general principle.
That would be
Well,
a
if,
Sharknado
if-
crossover with Transformers.
I'm down. I'm
with
down.
it. I am with it.
That reminds me, speaking of Shark Hot Wheels, not Shark Cruiser, but there's a other Shark Hot Wheels, and it has like when it moves forward, but it can't do it when it's moving back, and the jaws go boom, 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 boom. That I saw. I almost got it, but I was like, it was like a gold color shark. I was like,
I think I got the shark one on card from like 88.
Yeah, like the original one where it's like gray,
Yeah.
like the enamel paint look one.
Yeah, he's in the Hot Wheels games, which I'm glad those aren't mobile. How in the heck is Hot Wheels drop games on consoles and we get nothing but mobile Transformer games? And everyone's screaming
Weird.
for Fall of Cybertron and War for Cybertron.
I'm like, no disrespect to Hot Wheels, but it's about collecting a lot of different little cars. I think that lends itself to mobile gaming quite easily, just like
Yeah, because
on
the
way it
gotcha-
is.
But
games
yeah,
are
like I
so
said, they
popular.
don't. They're on console, and the console Hot Wheels
Well-
Unleashed games are fantastic.
Well, you do have Genshin Impact, and that's on consoles, and that's maybe no, I don't. No, it finally did get put on Xbox, but it was on PS systems way beforehand, and that's a really popular game. So I mean, I can see Hot Wheels being popular with the gotcha mechanic potential, especially if you have actual in-game currency from playing. Because like if I play like Mario Kart, normally if you either collect enough coins during races, you gain SS to like a new part because you could swap out
Yeah.
the wheels you use or
Hmm.
the frame you use, and that would tweak your stats for drifting, acceleration, max speed, etc.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's possible to have a quote unquote randomized mechanic in a smart way that's not predatory.
No,
But will they?
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, as we get close to rounding up, RG Eagle says, that's awesome. Glad you're an ultimate Spider-Man fan too. Now we got to convince the others. Definitely a must read. Swindle. Or sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say, I'm not talking about the old one. I'm talking about the one that started
I
in
know.
2024 with grown-up Peter Parker becoming Spider-Man for the first time instead of as a kid. It's just really well written. I can't even talk too much about the specifics because it's just well produced. For a long time, my main criticism of it was things are going too well for the Parkers because usually things don't go well for him. But we're up to like issue 15 now, and I'm like, oh, so it took a while for the consequences to reach him. Now is when the stuff's starting to fall down.
Nice.
Had you ever?
Yeah.
Fear. Had you ever read around the second Secret Wars by Jonathan Hickman, where they had the Spider-Man Renew Your Vows?
I did read Spider-Man Renew Your Vows. It's sort of like a beta test version of this series, isn't it?
Yep.
It's another alternate universe thing where it's adult Spider-Man. It's different from this. I think this is the better of the two, mostly because this is part of an ongoing thing instead of a one-off.
They wouldn't have a limited what was a lot of those Battle World like mini series were only like anywhere from 2 to 4, maybe 5 issues a piece.
This is just
Or
an
this
ongoing.
Is,
They're just
15 issues in,
yeah.
so.
And the good news is it's apparently selling very well. Like it's outselling normal Spider-Man, so like presumably they're going to get to keep it going for a while, which makes me happy because they're slow burning it, but I want to see where it goes.
Cool. Swindle says, trust me, I'm not a pretender. That man, baby, shall never be a part of who I am. I will make him turn into road pizza when me and the Combaticons
Glad to hear
combine
that, Swindle.
into Bruticus. RJ Eagle says, RID Transformers is also a must-watch for every fan. So good. Has more of a Japanese feel. Keep an eye on the girl in the red car, too funny.
Well, it was originally
there
a
was-
Japanese-produced show.
Yeah.
So that's why.
The 2001 Robots in Disguise cartoon had this running joke of this
I noticed that
lady
very
who-
quick.
Yeah, who keeps accidentally running into the Transformers. They never like interact with each other. We never even find out her name, but like every episode or two, whatever she's doing gets messed up by them being around. Like her car gets wrecked in the first episode, like stuff like that.
Nice.
And by the end of the series, she's just like, I gotta get away from the robots. Everything's being ruined constantly. Just this like hapless victim.
My cabbages.
Yeah, it's like the Mike Cabbages guy.
Mario says the Sharknado movie, looking back at it now, was ludicrous.
It was
And
ludicrous when it came out.
that's the
And I
whole point of
loved
it. It was so...
It's so silly.
There's a handful of movies where they are so silly, but because they're that silly, like even the main actors, they're like, no, I have to do this again and again and again because it's so stupid. You guys are paying for
fun.
it, but
Yeah.
it's a lot of fun, and there's a cult following of just how ludicrous it is. Like it is fun. It's one of those. Get a bunch of friends, get it on DVD, Blu-ray, VHS, and just watch it.
On Xbox, a bunch of us watch movies together. We just watched Turbo Kid. If you have a chance to watch Turbo Kid.
What is that? What is that?
It is like, it's made in like 2014, 2015. It's got Michael Ironsides in it, and Michael Ironside is having way too much fun in this role. It's fantastic to watch. But imagine Mad Max on bicycles. In the wasteland. It's got a total synth soundtrack. The soundtrack is outstanding.
Nice.
It harkens back to like 80s slasher movies with like the blood, guts, and gore. It's so entertaining. It's so camp. It's so B, and it's like Sharknado, man. It's so ridiculously off the wall. It's super entertaining.
Nice.
Yeah,
So,
Turbo Kid.
Turbo Kid. So as we round up for the evening, Set on Bach Arts, what do you have coming up for the week?
I am hopefully finishing a carving or getting done with I got all the parts I gotta do straight through, hollowed out, done. And then I'm gonna be this Tuesday I'll be working from the front, so like the SS material to like the left and the right of the head, get rid of that. And then tweaking the details of like the facial features and whatnot is what I'll be doing this Tuesday. I got my actual phone that I shoot photos on tapping the roof of its storage limit again. It was 2 weeks ago. I did that last, so I need to actually post stuff to my social media, rather post processing. And uploading to social media. Otherwise, the only other thing I got coming up is found out that they're doing a second sewing class, and that will be June 4th through, I think, July 11th. So I'm looking forward to that.
Cool. And Toy Warp, what say you for the upcoming week?
I'm the the newest author of a certain website. I didn't know if you wanted to bring it up or not.
Yes, as we now have Toy War Vintage reviews, writing reviews on childrenofprimus.com. So it's
Nice.
So we're slowly bringing more writers in, but the cool thing with all the reviews are cool, but with Toy War Vintage reviews, the stuff that he comes across are almost extremely rare. And his newest review, which was the sleeping tent, the Transformer sleeping tent, which I never heard of until you brought it up, and finding info on that, it's going to bring anyone back to the stuff that you wrote, including the video on your channel.
Just FYI, it doesn't even exist on eBay.
Tell me about it.
Oh,
Yeah, I
tell me
looked.
about it.
Damn,
There's a tent that you mount to the bed.
Yeah, the bed
It makes
tent.
like Yeah, it makes their bed like a little canopy bed that has Transformers on it, but an actual camping tent, I couldn't find one.
No, tell me about it. Other than that, this week I've got nothing coming up because I kind of got myself in trouble buying that huge Transformers lot, so I got to go back to work. That's what I got going this week.
Speaking of a rare item, how many of you remember the cartoon Heathcliff?
Yeah.
I recognize the name.
I
No.
know. Yeah.
He was
No,
a tough cat. Like
Mhm.
Garfield was a big fat lazy cat,
Yeah.
Heathcliff was a tough alley cat.
Heathcliff was my favorite cat. Now, if you remember on the cartoon, there was two episodes. So Heathcliff was the first 15 minutes, and then the Cadillac Cats were the second 15 minutes. And they had that car. They had that old car, like Chevy 57 Chevy, I think, or something, that converted into a boat and converted into like a motorhome. There's
No,
an
that was
actual.
Heathcliff. That was Heathcliff that had that.
Yeah, it was. Well, the Cadillac Cats were part of the Heathcliff show. So
Yeah.
Heathcliff was the first half, and then it was it Riff Raff, Sonya, Hector, and Wordsworth were the other cats, and they had the transforming Cadillac. There's an actual toy for that I found at some point.
1984.
Yeah, I'll have to see if I can find that again because it wasn't on eBay. There's some random website. So it just reminded me of like your review being probably the only review of that Transformers tent. That website, I think, is probably the only reference of that transforming toy, transforming toy Cadillac. So I have to see if I can track that down again.
And this is what I remember cat show wise because I'm, around 10 or so years younger than you. So I was too young to really remember Heathcliff well, but I recognize the name. But I remember Samurai Pizza Cats a lot better because I was actually,
That's
more
really
cognizant then. Whereas when Heathcliff was around, I'm like, I probably wasn't even verbal yet when Heathcliff was on TV.
Yeah, because I think I was like grade 7 when Heathcliff, so that's like 88 days, like way back. Over to you, Mr. Magnus. What do you have coming up for the week?
Well, I have added the new MPG 17 Masterpiece Optimus Prime to the pre-order at BBTS. And thanks to Anthony bringing this to my attention, I now have the pre-order in for the fourth party MD005 Transformer SS86 Optimus Prime.
Oh, well, you're welcome. There you go.
So if it does fly, we'll have one to look at.
And Swindle, thank you for joining us. And it says, you guys enjoy your night and
You're
listen
my favorite Combaticon, by the way.
listen to Fame by David Bowie because it is a good song.
Of course it is.
Well,
It's David Bowie.
What a strangely specific thing to say.
But anything David Bowie tends to
anything
be
David
very
Bowie.
good.
Oh yeah, I'm not disagreeing. I'm just like, why out of everything would you bring that up? That's just strangely. Okay, I mean, sure.
The 80s will live on forever. And we bring it to Fear of Courage. What do you have coming up for the week?
Okay, well, my review of Tasmania Kid has been posted on childrenofprimus.com news and reviews. One of the last of the core classes before they retired this price point permanently, and I sort of bring that up at the end. It's an interesting way for it to go out. Next review that I'm working on is Shadow Striker. I was getting some photos set up while we were talking
I
here.
love her.
Yeah, a very maligned figure. A lot of people didn't like her. So once I have that written and photographed, that'll be, I'll see what the deal is there.
I feel like she's a good figure. She's just not the representation. People wanted the Cyberverse version, and that is more representative of the BotCon version of her.
Yeah. I get that, but also I'm like, it's like a classic style version. It's every Shadow Striker at once, and I think that's interesting. But I'll write that all down. You can hear my thoughts about it eventually.
Cool. So you can find all of us on childrenofprimus.com and all of our socials like Facebook, Discord, Instagram at .childrenofprimus.com. Also on our Discord as well. And help us get to 500 subscribers. We are getting really close to it. And Mario says, and I'm going to hit the bed, sleep. Can't wait to catch you guys next stream.
Same.
Thanks for tuning in, Mario.
Thank you for tuning in, and for everyone else, share our videos, like the videos, subscribe, and till all are one.
Till all are one.
R1. We will be done.
Ah.
We now return you to the Children of Primus.